So before I get any further in this video, I just want to ask if I have any atheists watching this video, please feel free to correct me if I misrepresent or explain one of these varieties or concepts of atheism, or I don't properly explain it correctly. Feel free to correct me. This video is essentially just going to be me talking about varieties of atheism. Believe it or not, there's a lot of different types of atheism, and I think a lot of people don't actually know that these other parts of atheism, these other different types of varieties of atheism exist. So I thought, hey, might as well just make a video about it and talk about these different types of atheism. So again, if you're an atheist, feel free to correct me if I get something confused or I misrepresent these different types of atheism. If you don't know what an atheist is, an atheist believes that there is no gods or God, either in our world or beyond our universe. This is in a distinction from a theist who believes God is in and outside our universe. Likewise, a pantheist believes that God is the universe. So this screwdriver right here would be God. Pantheists believe God is in the universe. However, atheists claim that nothing exists except our universe and the cosmos. Atheists share a lot in common with skeptics and agnostics, and sometimes I think people get skepticism, agnosticism, and atheism all mixed up. Technically speaking, of course, a skeptic would claim that... A skeptic would say this: I doubt that God exists. An agnostic would declare, I don't know that God exists, or I can't know that God exists. An atheist, on the other hand, claims to know, or at least believe, that a God does not exist. Now, most atheism relies heavily upon the skepticism of David Hume, and also the agnosticism of, I believe I'm pronouncing his name right, Immanuel Kant, K-A-N-T. But moving on from talking about theism, skepticism, agnosticism, theism, generally speaking, there are several different types of varieties of atheism, which I'm now going to explain to you. The first type of atheism is known as conceptual atheism. This type of atheism believes that there is a God, but he is hidden from our view. Our finite minds cannot construct a concept of God. Another type of belief is what is known as dialectical atheism. This type of atheism claims that God was once alive, but died in the incarnation and crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Moving off from that, there's what is known as mythological atheism. This was actually believed by, I believe, by Friedrich Nietzsche. I hope I'm saying his name right. Friedrich Nietzsche believed in mythological atheism, which believes that God never existed, but people believed in the God myth, which people live their life according to a certain model that a God existed, and people live their life according to this God myth. There is then what is known as practical atheists. These type of atheists believe that God exists, but believe that we should act as if he does not exist, which I think is kind of a silly idea. Next up is what is known as semantical atheism. This belief of atheism believes that God talk is dead. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this was influenced heavily by logical positivists. These people essentially challenged the meaningfulness of language according to God. Those who believe in this believe that you cannot talk to God through meaningful terms, which I assume would be like prayer. And finally, the most common held belief of atheism, which is known as traditional atheism or metaphysical atheism. I'm not sure if I should call it traditional atheism or metaphysical. I don't know. Tell me what I should call it. This final type of atheism essentially claims that there never was, is, or will be a God. And most atheists who I have talked to hold this view. However, that's not all. Atheists can also be classified in other ways. This is done by an atheist expressing the different classification of his atheism. As such, one could speak of existential atheism, Marxist atheism, psychological atheism, which was developed by Freud, capitalistic atheism, which was developed by Ayn Rand, which is a female, and one of the most famous is behavioristic atheism, which was created by the most famous known psychologist known as B.F. Skinner. In most casual conversations, it's best to refer to atheism as the traditional belief that there is no God. So yeah, those are the many types of different varieties of atheism. I hope you learned something. If not, I'm sorry for wasting your time, but I truly thought that some people may not know these different types of atheism, so I thought I'd share it with you. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I am Daniel Sulzbach, also known as Mr. Repzion. Peace the rep out. And if you're an atheist, feel free to tell me what type of atheist you are out of the different branches that I have supplied you with. Peace out.